This is Dave Burr pitching Discharged from Hell. In this thrilling three-dimensional first-person escape crawl, the player is granted an accidental reprieve from their scheduled medication. The player is given an opportunity for freedom and they take it. From this point, the player spends their time carefully picking their way through the labyrinth of opposing forces, utilizing their environment and items found scattered throughout the facility to establish allies that will look the other way, cause disturbances, or aid in their escape. The only thing that matters is that gloriously lit up exit sign. The player can keep an eye out for items to barter with while navigating the four wards to escape to freedom. The player will start in minimum security and travel through juvenile, onto violent, and finally the criminally insane. Each ward will give way to a steady increase in difficulty from one to the next. During gameplay, the player will encounter fellow patients, medical staff, and hospital security. The player must utilize everything around them, including their own slowly degrading wits, using the items that they find scattered throughout the floor to attempt to woo the AI. When the player interacts with an AI, they must choose what they will do for them, and if at any time the player is unable to pay the resources required, the AI becomes a whistleblower for the medical staff. Because the player is being actively pursued, the adrenaline bar is key. With their adrenaline full, the player is experiencing clarity and can better ward off their hallucinations, navigate the scene easier, and barter with the AI more accurately. The farther their adrenaline has fallen, either by being idle or too many failed attempts with the AI, the player's clarity shifts more towards insanity. With higher insanity, the player is at a higher risk of being caught. The adrenaline bar is impacted a couple of ways. The main way is through time. As time progresses, the adrenaline bar abates and the player slips more into insanity. The farther into insanity the player slips, the more difficult it is for them to make conscious decisions, and hallucinations happen with more frequency and detail, but can also boost the adrenaline if the player correctly interprets the meaning of the hallucination. Once the player has zero adrenaline, the player is caught. The player is caught, they lose everything, and the player starts over. There's no way to combat the pursuer. The player can only evade capture by staying undetected by avoiding the medical staff. This is done by blending in with the crowd, ducking into a room for a time, or leaving that particular ward. All of these have different effects on their adrenaline. The antagonizing forces within a discharge from hell are the pursuing medical staff, the security team, the player's adrenaline level, and time. The player's choices affect how their adrenaline reacts. Too many wrong choices can make seemingly simple obstacles turn insurmountable. The players can slow down and collect items for barter, testing their insanity but gaining easier passage. However, it has an adrenaline depletion drawback. On the other hand, the player can choose a direct approach and try to force their way through the level as fast as possible by avoiding the AI and barter items. This option will potentially cause issues in later wards. Comparable games to Discharge from Hell are Asylum X, Escape from Alcatraz, with elements from Assassin's Creed and Skyrim. Gameplay opens a whole host of opportunities. The ones that stick out the most are extra wards to traverse, more hallways to get lost within, and a difficulty setting that the player can adjust to his or her play skill. The risks of developing DFH are the coding for the AI to demand different levels and quantities of items to be bartered for their services, as well as building it correctly so that the medical staff pursue and capture happens correctly. Let's recap. The player chooses early on if they will play an offensive or defensive mindset. The player must maintain a healthy adrenaline level so that they can escape the asylum, and they must avoid capture by using stealth, possibly with AI aid. Thank you for listening to my pitch. I hope to be working on Discharge from Hell as our capstone project with a group of talented individuals soon. Thank you. Have a nice day.